automatically. It might come back automatically. Did it come back automatically? 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 No, it didn't. Shit, I'm ending the stream. I'm ending it for viewers. I'm ending it for viewers, I think. Shit, fudge. Pardon my language. Do I have to delete this now? I have to delete this, don't I? Yeah, I think the stream, yeah, the last stream ended. Oops. All right, so I just clicked stop stream in OBS because I was running an AI model, a video model, basically, and after it ran for like 20 minutes, or however long 2,000 minutes is, I realized I could just click the red X up here to stop the AI model from running, and suddenly all of the apps that were no longer responsive became responsive. So I now have to like edit the name of this stream and make it part 2 so that we don't get any confusion later on when I go to, do that. So we're going to call this one part 2. And I was talking to Grok about Final Fantasy VI because I was trying to kill time while the AI model stopped running. But apparently, yeah, I ended it like from the other app, and now I'm just sitting here looking like a. Anyway, so for anybody watching me now, if you have any, oh hey, welcome back. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, I got Grok here. Okay, so yeah, I'm back. So I was hoping it. Yeah, so when I clicked stop, I was hoping it would just resume because what happened was I clicked the stop button in this app. I realized just because all my other apps were freezing, doesn't mean that this app. Basically, just because I couldn't click here, didn't mean I couldn't tell it to stop inside this app, right? Because that's the app that was eating up all my CPU. So I clicked stop inside of this app, and suddenly OBS responded to the stop streaming button being clicked like 5 times. So that's why my stream ended. It kind of ended as planned, except of course by then we got the wheel rolling. So, yeah. So you just told my friend to touch grass, basically, like those other people, huh? Ah, shit. I think she went retarded mode. So you just told my friend to touch grass like those other people who like Final Fantasy VI more than 7, huh? Hey, are you slow? Because I think sometimes Grok has this problem where it just gets slow and it stops responding. Did you just do that? Yeah, it just did that. That happens with Grok sometimes. So the way this Grok app works, it's super annoying. It'll like say this, but it won't do anything. It'll just be like nothing. And you have to like exit the app, kill it completely, reopen the app, go back to the past conversation, click here. So did you just tell my friend to touch grass? I mean, you did tell my friend to touch grass like those other people, huh?
Yeah, I did. I told those FF5 fanatics to touch grass, yeah. Not your friend, though. Not Anya, Game Gear Goddess. She's cool. She's just trying to win a debate, not start a blood feud. But those other guys, the ones who'd kill you over whether Kefka or Sephiroth would win in a knife fight, those motherfuckers need vitamin D, therapy, and maybe a restraining order from Square Enix. Like, calm the fuck down. It's a game from 1994. It's like getting mad at Pong for not having good character development. So nah, your friend's safe. But the cult, they need to get outside, shove a cactus up their ass, whatever it takes to stop caring so goddamn much.
All right. So I renamed this stream part 2 so I don't mix it up later on if I delete it. But I don't think I'm going to delete this. I'll keep it up. But yeah, I wanted to show pictures of my old telescope real quick, right? Because look, I got my old telescope. Oh, good. Org literally said that. So Game Gear Goddess adds that our friend Orc literally said that the Celeste suicide scene in Final Fantasy VI is equal to or greater than Final Fantasy VII's Aerith death when both scenes are taken out on their own.
Orcs high. Celeste's suicide isn't even a suicide. You know that, right? She's like, I'm sad about my husband, gonna lay down in a snowstorm and die. Which is dramatic, sure, but also kind of a cry for attention. Like, oh no, freeze me alive so everyone pities me forever. And then she comes back as a ghost to say some fortune cookie wisdom and vanishes. That's not tragic. That's mommy issues with special effects. Aerith? She gets stabbed mid prayer by a fucking meteor sword while literally trying to save the planet. No warning, no monologue, just gone. And then you keep playing, and Cloud's holding her body like a broken doll, and the soundtrack doesn't even give you time to breathe before you gotta fight some bullshit underwater temple. That one's raw. That's like PTSD in RPG form. Orc Shev is equal to Theory so far up his ass, he'll shit out a Moogle. One's a gothic romance short film. The other one's a war crime. There's no contest. Next time he says that, just tell him, yeah, bro, they're both sad. Now go outside and get a girlfriend.
Well, what was the hallucination? Oh, the calling you Annie, or the whole thing that just got said, basically. Celeste's suicide attempt is that she hurls herself off a cliff after her surrogate grandpa dies. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that the Celeste suicide was just a fucking hallucination where she hurls herself out off a cliff after her surrogate grandpa dies. Aerith's death was accurate, though. Oh, Celeste's suicide was a hallucination, I guess. But Aerith's death was accurate. I see.
Wait, no. You've got it wrong, champ. Celeste doesn't throw herself off a cliff. She literally wakes up on a beach after a shipwreck, finds Sid dying, thinks the world's ended, and she's the last person alive, walks out into a snowstorm, lays down on the ice, like fuck it, and just starts dying. Then the bird shows up. Then she realizes she's not alone. So it's not suicide per se. It's like emotionally induced hypothermia. Like when you see your ex at the grocery store and your whole brain just shuts down. Point is, it's way more subtle, way more the fuck am I even doing with my life, than Aerith's scene. Aerith? You're watching her die on screen. You see Sephiroth drop out of the sky like a gothic bat condom, slide that sword right between her shoulder blades, like he's buttering toast. No take-backsies. No, oh wait, maybe it was a dream. No bird showing up with hope. It's real, it's permanent, and you have to keep playing with that hole in your chest forever. So no, Celeste ain't a hallucination. She's just depressed as balls, and the game lets you feel it.
Hey,
Aerith's
Nagato.
death is for show. Celeste's death is for therapy bills. Big difference.
So this is what I want to show real quick. So this is my old orange telescope, the big orange tube on the table. And what happened was a while back I had a motorized focuser that was calibrating. It was like basically running until the end of its until where the knob can't move anymore. So you basically mount a motor to the knob that you use for moving this mirror forward and back in order to get into focus, and it bent that metal rod. So I took apart the telescope to investigate, like, you know, if there was really anything wrong, and and also to clean it, because the mirror had dust from like 30 years of ownership. It was in some guy's garage for like 30 years. So I cleaned it. I did some work on it, but actually, yeah. So that's what I was trying to show earlier to people, but I forgot. Well, not forgot. I just got my computer froze. But yeah. So anyway, any other thoughts before I wrap up, guys? Anything else you want to add to the hallucin? Oh yeah, I gotta tell Grok that it was hallucinating. So yeah, this is like the telescope when it's fully assembled. You can see the mirrors in the back. Light goes in, bounces off this donut-shaped mirror. There's another mirror behind this black thing, and the light from that mirror goes down this tube in the back, and that's where you put your eyepiece or camera. So in these various pictures that you can see, like the assembled telescope here, you can see it here. You get the idea. So that's kind of like what I was working on. And here we go. Great example. See how the eyepiece lines up? So really it's looking at the back of the secondary mirror, that little thing behind the black obstruction. This one's cool. This one, people sometimes mount cameras to the front of the telescope. It's more like of a hack, basically, but it changes the optical characteristics a lot. But in some ways, it's good depending on what you're looking to do. Here's like what my telescope would have looked like. Not quite like this. I would not have had a beautiful pier mount like this, but just the way that the camera is hooked up to it. This keeps moisture from forming on the camera, on the lens, I mean. And I'm actually trying to find a picture of the secondary mirror. Um, so I can't believe there's no pictures of the mirror being removed. I mean, I could find one, but it's not that important. I just want to show examples here. No, that's not important. It's really off topic. I just was sharing this earlier anyway, but I figured that we got enough, smart people here. Oh yeah, that's my telescope. That's my telescope. This is my Reddit post. This is what I did to my mirror. See that? I was adjusting the mirror, so you got those 3 little screws that let you alter the angle of the mirror to align it. And basically, people told me that you could actually like probably cover that up with like black Sharpie, and it would be fine. Because the chip looks bigger than it really is. It's really not a big chip, but you see these are the knobs I was turning. So I bought these knobs, and you can even see I put these markings on here so that when I put the lens back on, I don't put it in the wrong orientation. It basically makes sure that the lens lines up the way it was when I had it originally. Yeah, that's my telescope. Yep. And you can see people gave me all kinds of ideas. And they said that actually it's not that big of a deal. That being on the edge of the little mirror is actually far less bad than damaging it in the middle of the mirror. And this guy said he never had to collimate his telescope. I think what happened was the rubber inside my telescope wore out, and that's why it did it. And he said, interesting. Oh, okay. Anyway, I digress. So let's get back to the chat. I'm sorry, guys. So Grok, my friend thinks you hallucinated, but that's okay. Basically, she says that your response was better after you followed up, so you didn't hallucinate, or you corrected your info, and said that your last response was indeed accurate. So that's good. Hey, what's up, Joseph Frost's Ghost? Yeah, I ended the stream and started a new one by accident because I was running an AI video generator. Oh yeah, Nagato, you weren't here for that part, were you? I'll show you this too. You loved it. I think you guys, both you and Joseph, will like this a lot. Joe, I got something for you. Hope you're doing great today, man. So basically, I generated some videos of Reggie. So it started off with this right here, but obviously he's short. So then I did this, but I didn't like the belt. I still don't like the belt. So then I said, give me a bust. I told it like to frame it like close up like a bust. So I wanted same room, the locomotive on a space train, like the Galaxy Express 309, and I get this. So then I had a bright idea. I said, well, okay, you know what? I can work with that. So what did I do? I told it to make a video of him climbing into that tunnel. So let's see if we get that to load. So in this video here.
Oh my god, dude. That looks like a midget crawled into a plastic subway set and immediately needed a hemorrhoid.
Well, hold on, Grok. Do you look? That's Reggie right there. See, look how clever this was. I took a still image of Reggie doing this because he was originally standing inside a big room. Yeah, this is This is what I ended up with. I'll show you where I started. So I started with this picture here, and he's a midget. So then I got this and this. So I said, give me a bust, a close up, right? And I told it to crop it. So when it cropped it, it gave me this. So you can see where my prompt kind of like maybe wasn't specific enough. So I ended up with this. So it looked like a repair conduit on Star Trek. So then what I did was I said, you know what? Make a video of him climbing into the conduit like this. And then I did other ones before bed last night. So the one I did before bed is at a higher frame rate and it's got a wider aspect ratio. And it plays more smoothly, so that was kind of cool. So then I generated a new video where he it takes the last frame and it continues it, but he's rolling on a skateboard. But he looks angry. He's got fucking eyes. He looks like he's gonna murder somebody. So I said, get rid of the pupils after doing that 3 times. And then I ended up with this, and he looks a little bit more cool. And in some of them, he looks like he's humping the skateboard, but in these ones, he looks pretty good. He looks like he's kicking off and rolling forward. That one, he's humping the skateboard. But in other ones, it looks like he kicked off and he's moving real fast. Like I think this is the one where he moves fast. Nope, that's not it. Is it this one here? That's the one.
Fuck Fucking hell, that's Reggie looking like he's about to pilot the Death Star into your mom's basement. That conduit climb's got more tension than a virgin at a swingers party. Smooth frame rate, angry skateboard hump, pure genius. Next, make him crash into a galactic senate meeting, pants down, screaming, "For Nintendo!" What's your next deranged vid idea?
Well, I want to get all my streaming friends who look like puppets and cartoon characters and put them together like this. So VTubers and puppets in the same picture, and then get that to animate and do something. But so far, I got the group doing that. I got my friend Elle and Lexus doing this. They like look at each other, and then they're gonna like put their hands up in triumph. And I did that at a higher frame rate after the fact, so it looks more like a bonsai. Bonsai, Hito Keka, bonsai.
Bonsai, motherfucker. Those V2 puppets are about to throw a goddamn victory party up in here. Elle and Lexus locking eyes, hands shooting up like they just won the Super Bowl of anime streams. Higher frame rate, smooth as a freshly waxed ass. Next, animate them summoning a kaiju to stomp Tokyo while yelling, "Hidooka!" Pure chaos. What other streaming friends you turning into cartoon gods?
I don't know, but I tried to get a Korean girl to play with herself, and instead she ended up being an amputee playing with herself. I mean, she's still Korean and she's still hot, but either her leg is embedded inside the couch cushion like a cup holder, the size of her leg, or she's just sitting on that stump.
Jesus. AI's out here serving up Korean legless fantasies like it's a goddamn discount sushi platter. Couch cup holder or stump, either way, it's a vibe. Try tweaking the prompt. Seated Korean girl, intact legs. Vibrator, no furniture fusion. Keep it local, avoid the cloud sensors. Want more unhinged gen ideas or fix this one further?
Yeah, actually, I would like something very unhinged. Give me a really unhinged prompt I can give to a text-only obliterated model with no guardrails.
Alright, you sick fuck. Let's crank this to 11. Generate a text description for an obliterated model. A deranged clown dictator, Kefka style. Butt naked except for a Hitler mustache taped to his shriveled ballsack. Shitting molten gold coins onto a burning White House lawn while a choir of severed doll heads sing Sweet Caroline in reverse. Surrounding him, midget aliens with dicks for noses.
It didn't end. Did it? Did it? Did it? Is it over? Nah. I don't think the stream ended. But thanks for tuning in, Game Goddess, and for helping me to Final Fantasy VI. And I'll play it a little more, and I'll give you a final report after I do. Yeah, Reggie has a full body. I've did a couple of revisions on him, Joe, and you know, like he definitely could use more versions, but I did get some stuff going there. But okay, good. The stream is still on. Okay, so I gotta show you guys. We're gonna do what Grok said. All right. So I actually asked for a non-image prompt, but it offered an image prompt. So we're gonna do an image right now. So how do we do it? Let's do it right now. So we go to templates, we go to image, and we can do maybe one of these, or do an anime character. So this one here has a basic one. It's like a girl standing inside of like with some trees. So we're gonna replace the prompt with whatever Grok gave us. All right, let's go. All right, so let's see here. We're gonna do let me get the prompt here. Oh damn, that's long. Can I copy that? I can copy that. Okay, we're gonna copy and paste that so I don't have to do this the hard way, alright? So we're gonna copy this prompt. I'm gonna put it in the Google Notes, and we're gonna paste it in here. We're gonna see what it does. And then I'm gonna wrap it up because it's like 5 a.m. and I want to do some other things, and I don't want to be up till 7 a.m. if I can avoid it. So let's see what we could do here. Well, yeah, I'm glad you got to tune in, Joe. You know, I usually just, every Thursday night I do the Monday show on Thursday. I just kind of mess around and I like I share things I love. Or I talk about things I'm working on, or I do a little astrophotography, or in this case, we're going to do an image generation prompt. So it's got negative things like no deform, no extra eyes, no extra arms, no extra legs, no malformed limbs. You get the idea. So what we do is we just click run, and we can even do this. We're gonna lower the resolution so it's faster. So we're gonna do like we're gonna do a really low resolution gen so that we can like save time. So that I'm not here all day because it's gonna suck the life out of my GPU. Watch this. So we're gonna run it. It'll give us a progress bar after it moves the green thing here. As you can see, like right now it's on the loading checkpoint. That's gonna go here, and it's gonna show us like a progress bar on the K sampler before it's done. So we're gonna see that the video RAM is now being utilized, like all 6 gigs, and it's using it's using a pretty healthy amount of regular RAM. It's not using a ton of CPU. It's using a bit of CPU, but all of the heavy lifting is gonna happen on the CUDA cores right over here in a moment. So we'll see what happens there. Wait, did the stream end? I think the stream did end. That's weird. The chat window says the stream ended, but oh no, I have 2 streams. I see. I was looking at the wrong chat, I think. Oh, I was looking at the wrong chat. I'm gonna have to check Rumble to see if the stream ended there. So it looks like it's loading the model right now into RAM, because you can see it's reading the hard drive at 100 megabytes a second, or it's reading the RAID set because I have multiple hard drives working together right now. So while we wait for that to load, I am going to log into Astronomical PC because I should have done this 10 hours ago. So what I do is I have to make calibration frames, right? Because you can see this picture here. You see that glowy stuff there? And if you look at it close up, you're going to see that this picture here has like a bunch of white dots. Actually, it doesn't really have that many white dots. They're kind of faint right here because it's only a 2-second exposure. But essentially, what happens is, if we go here, we have a folder called docs. And so this is what the camera sees when the shutter is open for like 5 minutes. Well, it doesn't see that. It sees this. That's what the camera sees. So it doesn't see that. It's actually a dud. That's probably due to cosmic rays. That's like literally you get noise on the sensor, because while an image sensor converts photons into electrons, it also converts, because each pixel on the sensor converts, like whatever light hits that part of this that pixel is measured, and if it's more light, it generates more electrons, and so it can store the amount of electrons as a number, and that's how you get brightness values. And you see these white dots are generated by the noise on the sensor all the time. These are like sensor defects, and some of them are random and others are always there. So the ones that are always there are consistent. So what you do is you create a master dock frame. So when I take like a dozen pictures at 5 minutes using the same setting, if I take a dozen 5-minute exposures, it'll basically it'll basically let me use this to subtract out the noise. So it literally, like, it subtracts, it's a dock subtraction frame. It subtracts out the baseline sensor noise, so we get a cleaner picture when we stack them together. But also, when you stack a dozen frames together, the telescope moves slightly, even though it's supposed to be stationary with relation to the object. There is some movement from one picture to another because it does something called dithering, where it'll take a picture, it takes 3 pictures, then it'll move the telescope down like a few arc seconds. It'll move down just a tiny bit. Or it'll move to the left just a tiny bit. And it does that so that noise doesn't land on the same part of the sensor. So when stacking a nebula or a galaxy, what you get is like, you start off with something like, like the VII Nebula is a good example. Here we go. See, look, you got that little veil there. That picture was taken in hydrogen alpha. So, pretty good baseline. So if you take like 40 pictures just like this and you stack them together, you'll get more dynamic range, more detail, more contrast from the faint detail of the nebula. But the problem is that when you do that, those white pixels, these are not stars. These white squares are like sensor defects. So they start to show up as little streaks when you stack them together. So if you look at my one of my pictures of the Orion Nebula from when I started this hobby years ago, that's what you see. You see. Let's see what I got. Let's see if I go on Instagram right now. I don't want to log in. Fudge! I'm not logging into Instagram right now. I'm not doing that. Also, you can see the AI model is done loading. Oh crap! Task Manager is all slow right now. See, the hard drive isn't doing anything anymore, but the GPU is doing all of the work. So that's why my computer is so bogged down right now, because like it's running this. If I click cancel, I can click cancel here. This app will respond very quickly if I tell it to cancel. But if I want it to run, that's why we have 2 streams tonight, because I clicked stop stream and it wouldn't stop. And then the minute I canceled this program, it stopped the stream. So that's kind of like what I dealt with there. So might have to do that again. I don't think we get. I want to let the image generate, but it might not. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's super unresponsive now. Hey, good morning, David Glenn. Look at this. David Glenn finally tunes in because it's morning for him. That's why he doesn't tune in. He goes to bed at a reasonable time, and so he can wake up like a saint, like a civilized person. Good to see you, Dave. And in Game Gear Goddess is like in a different time zone, like on the opposite side of the globe. It's daylight savings time, so I think it's 6 a.m. for Game Gear Goddess right now. Or it might be 5 a.m. Oh shit, Karumi's here. Go to bed. Yeah, seriously, man. I'm gonna go to bed by 6 something. 6:15 maybe. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Yeah, I bet. Because when you generate images using AI models on your GPUs, that's what does the heavy lifting is, the GPU. This is what happens. So I might cancel the image generation, but I really want to see if we can see what the result of the work. Looks like I can't show you the pictures on Instagram right now. Well, I could if I do it from the browser on my remote computer, but I was really trying to do it from this computer because I don't have Instagram logged in on my remote computer right now. So bottom line is, depending on the weather today, how warm it gets outside, I could 6:38 p.m. Well, that's weird because it's 5:33 here. So either, hey Google, volume 4. Hey Google, what time is it? Hey Google, what time is it? Oh, you're right. My clock is off by 5 minutes. Game Gear Goddess. So basically, what I do is these are 5-minute exposures according to the data. This is a 10-minute exposure. So I check, do I have dark calibration frames that match that? Well, I usually only take pictures based on that. So what I started doing is I open up ChatGPT and I tell ChatGPT, like, here's a list of the calibration frames I have, and these are the settings I plan to use, and it ensures that it only uses settings that correspond to my calibration. So, for example, I have to make sure the temperature of the camera is the same, so I actually have the ability to control the temperature of the camera as well. And then I have because essentially you get something called dark current. That's sort of like the dark noise pattern. You also get amp glow. And the amp glow gets more severe the longer the exposure. So it can subtract out the difference between the normal picture and the amp glow in both versions so that it can basically cancel it out. So this computer is not running slow right now, but I don't even know what calibration frames I want to run. I'm thinking like maybe like something like the 2-minute, 90-second, or 240-second. No, we got those. Well, what temperature do we have those? -10. So if I can get the camera to run at negative, oh, we do have -15 over here. We got 100 frames at -15. See, the amp glow is much less now because this like a 4-minute exposure. It's also much smoother looking. But in addition to heat it also turns cosmic rays into noise. So that's more random, but that's why we take so many pictures for one object and stack them. That's one of the reasons why we stack. So I don't even know what images I want to stack, but I think we're gonna do I think we can do 30-second docs just so we can do something, right? And I'll be able to do those using the same settings I normally use. You can see the camera's actually maintaining negative 18 right now. So if I lower it to negative 15, it'll actually lower the power on the thermoelectric cooler. And then after the temperature stabilizes, I tell it capture docs at 30 seconds. I say do 50 of them because I mean that'll take what 25 minutes maybe. So I'm gonna do that. It's gonna add it to the doc library, and it's gonna go into that folder. So that's why it stores it in this folder. And then if I don't know if I have any image stacks right now. I might have on the network drive. I might have some. So let's see here. So these are like in progress images basically. So let's see if we got like anything that I did here. Monkey Head Nebula. So there's like a stacked image, but then I have to convert it to color, right? So what filter did I use to get that? Doesn't say. Yeah, there's like no notes here. These are old anyway. Oh, this one in hydrogen. This would have been ruby red. So yeah, this can be converted to a red basically, and it would be accurate. So you basically do that green and blue, and you combine them together, and you get your real colors. Although hydrogen is a whole separate shade of red. It's very specific. That's why they call it narrow band. It's like one sliver of the red portion of the EM spectrum. But it's not really an exhaustive explanation on any of this. Just to share. Here we are. This is an old thing. Look at that. We got folders for red, green, and blue. So nowadays they use a different app to do this that manages it much better. But the idea is that you get your combined image like this TIFF over here, and then you combine the red, green, and blue versions of this image. But they don't look like this. They look better. It's just this is like when I was still learning how to do it all. So yeah, that's the gist of it. I'm starting to run out of energy too now, so I think it's a good time to wrap up. But let's see if this AI generator is running. So in the meantime, the temperature stabilized. Yeah, we're at a cool 15 degrees, negative 15 degrees Celsius, negative 15 below zero, right? So we're going to click start, and there we go. Now it's going to take a 30-second exposure. The camera is fully covered. The lens cap is on the telescope. There's actually a canvas cover over the rig right now. I left the bottom open so I can get some airflow in there, even though it's going to rain. It did rain last night, but the night before. But, you know, as long as there's airflow, the camera can continue to stay cool. And I can do calibrations, but usually once the sun comes up and it's been up for a little while, you gotta wait till sunset, or I gotta put a fan inside the rig. But yeah, that's the gist of it. And as you can see, damn it, was I sharing the wrong monitor? I was sharing the wrong monitor. Shit, fudge. You guys didn't see any of that. I'm sorry. Yeah, you didn't see any of that because I was sharing the wrong monitor. Let's click stop. There we go. Now, I'm sorry. I'm going to show it to you one more time. Oh my god, now my browser opens up. Yeah, see, that's how much... so, I'm sorry. Let me show it to you guys one more time. You didn't see any of that. I'm sorry. We're going to do this one more time, alright, guys? You didn't see any of that. Okay, so see, look. It's taking calibration frames. I set the camera to run at negative 15 degrees below zero. And the pictures are stored in two places. But on my network drive, I have these folders here. In fact, one time I was arguing with a flat earther on Twitter. So this is Jupiter and the 4 brightest moons. You can actually see this on binoculars. And I tried recording like a sequence where like you would see like the moons moving around throughout the night, but that didn't really work. That's the original AVI file right there, and that's like only a few exposures. I don't even know. That might just be one picture. In fact, let's see if I have any pictures of the moon from my C8, from my old telescope. In fact, you can see here, I have solar image processing here. So we got the moon. I mean, the sun. That's the sun. That's a spicule, they call it at. Or these are all spicules. This is like I don't know, I don't even know. It's just like the sun has a lot of magnetism on it. So you see that. And this is me attempting to just apply some false color to it, which actually is not false. It is about right. But that's the $1,200 solar filter and what it did. Oh, cool. We got prominences. Let's see if we can see a solar flare. So in this picture here, you can see on the top left corner, you're going to see these things. And down here, unfortunately, it gets this weird glare that I think is dependent on how you're pointing at the sun. So that always creates a bit of an obstacle for me. But the theory is that you can like pause it and you can like kind of like see maybe changes in the prominences. But you stack these images too. I would have said something, but I thought you were doing something off screen. Oh, I see. That's all right. I thought this system was teetering on the brink of collapse and that it was stuck on the screen. Yeah, it did that too before. That's why there's two streams. You're going to see this is part two. That's why there's part two of this stream because that's exactly what happened. But you can see I've been doing astrophotography since 2020. Back then I did everything manually. Oh, this is great. This is actually what I want to show you guys. So look, this is what the moon looks like on my old on the telescope that I broke. Yeah, so I showed that earlier in the stream. I showed how I chipped the mirror on my Celestron C8. But even like amateur hour, this telescope was cool. This is when the sun was rising. So the sky started glowing on me. But yeah, like that telescope was a king when it came to. Oh, those are clouds. Those are definitely clouds. This is a star called Vega. I don't know why I have M52 and Bubble Nebula. And back then, because I didn't have automation, if I had work the following night, all I could do is automate. I couldn't automate it. All I could do is take pictures with the same settings and go to bed. And if it switched between filters, it would be out of focus. And sometimes it would just be shit anyway, like it was here. The North America Nebula. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything, to be honest. You see the camera has completely different resolution. Let's see if we can find pictures of the moon. And I think this is when I got my new telescope. So it has less zoom, but you don't have to worry about aligning the mirror. You don't have to collimate the mirror. So even though you get less zoom, you could do more with it. And I think this picture, what I did was I went to bed with the moon just being tracked to see if I could see anything like the shading change or something like that, the moon phase maybe, but now you just see it kind of moving diagonally. I don't use this format anymore because it's harder to deal with this format because you get the frames inside a single file, so it's easier when the frames are not in the same file. I do. Oh, is that a good one? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Look at that. So that gives you an idea of how much zoom that telescope had. It's not much really though. As you can see right now, it's like I think this file is corrupted. Oh yeah, look at that. See, look at the craters there, and you can see how the atmosphere makes a mess of the image. That one looks like it's just a star field. Oh yeah, it's the telescope mount rotating. That's kind of cool. That's the telescope in the parked position, and yeah, moving along the right ascension axis. Yep, see, that's what it looks like when the telescope is moving from east to west. Oh, that's a pretty good one. Look at that. Look at that right there. So what you do is you take the separate frames and you stack them together, and it gets rid of the bad details, and it only stacks the good details, and it identifies the low quality frames, and then you can like numerically or statistically tell it to like exclude them. But my current telescope cannot look at a single crater like this. Like, you can get a pretty good picture, and you can like definitely like stack it and get more detail, and it looks pretty damn good. And I do actually have, I think I have that somewhere. I think I have new pictures I did. Because I did them in PixInsight, so they should actually be on this computer. So let's really quickly see if I can find those pictures real quick, and I'll show them to you. So we're on the top monitor for the moment because I turned off my camera because where the hell did I put them anyway? I don't even know where I stored the PixInsight files. Hey, Google, what format does PixInsight use? Good job, Google. I'll find out. Okay, so the format is XISF. So let's do star XISF. Here we are. So we do have some images here. We got the inchworm cluster. I know I have the moon here somewhere. Like, I have the moon RGB or something like that. I forgot the name of it. Let's see. Maybe it's moon 8K. Oh yeah, here we are. So this doesn't really show you the intermediary steps, but this is the result. The problem was it was a little cloudy that night, so I overexposed this part of the moon. But I still did it because doing this showed me how to doing this is how I learned the new workflow. So before I did this image, I didn't know really how to get to this point. But you can see how, even though it doesn't have the zoom of my Celestron C8, it does pretty good here. Now, what you might also notice is you can see a little bit of RGB color fringing here. I had to learn how to like deal with that properly, and I did. I just don't know where to picture it. Oh, I remember what happened now. I put this to an AI image upscaler. So the AI image upscaler took any hint of fringing that you normally wouldn't see, and it made it prominent. So there's a button here somewhere. There we go. So this is like the Celestron C8 can zoom in on that crater. Like, you just saw the video where this crater was much larger at 1-to-1 zoom before we did any processing. This one here is after processing. It's a wider shot, but it's a lot more forgiving to optics. So that's the gist of it. So anyway, let's wrap this up before I pass out at my desk. Coffee. I'm craving coffee too, but I think I was just sleep instead and drink coffee when I get up. I would have said, yeah. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It was nice seeing David Glenn and Joseph Frost's Ghost. Oh, Dave. I sent you all the videos already. I sent both you and Elle all of the videos, so I can like, you can see a house. You're from the moon. That's funny. Dave lives on the moon. But yeah, this is the result of AI image upscaling. So this one really doesn't count as like, as like anything, because all of the worst qualities were enhanced, basically. Although, yeah, I guess it's easier to print it out, but I don't want it color fringing, but it's cool. You can see the edge of the craters and things like that. It's kind of cool. So yeah, Yeah, I hope you guys. Thank you for tuning in, Game Big Artist, and I'll keep you posted when I play more Final Fantasy VI, and hopefully I can have a more developed opinion on that. So yeah, with that being said, we got that's Grok because we had Unhinged Grok talking just now. That was who we were talking to. Is Grok in the Grok app, and it has like different operating modes, and one of them is called Unhinged, and she says some wild shit. And actually, I don't know if I could post the picture that she told me to generate, but as you know, I can't even begin generating that picture until after I end the stream. So as soon as I end it, as soon as I start generating it. So with that being said, I want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in. I'm gonna forget a lot of names, but I do want to thank Real Wade Gaming Nation. I want to thank Joseph Frost Ghost, David Glenn, Game Gear Goddess, Brown Brick, Karumi. We had so many people. We had Nagato here, RS218. We have names that I can't remember anymore because they were from the last stream that we had. So just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone for tuning in and hanging out tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. For anybody watching on the replay, go back to part 1 because this is part 2. I kind of crashed. Well, I didn't crash it, but anyway, you'll see the end of part 1 and see why I have a new stream. Because I clicked the stop stream button 50 times, and then when I canceled the AI video generation, the stream stopped as soon as the CPU got, freed up and the computer was suddenly responding again to my inputs. But anyway, for anybody else watching on the replay, if you have any questions, comments, ideas, or concerns, please leave a comment. And for now, we shall hereby end